Welcome to this fire practice, tapping into the transformational fire. Please begin by lying down on your back, resting comfortably with your eyes closed. This practice is dedicated to awakening the sacred fire, or Agni, that resides in the navel. This force dissolves and digests that which keeps us from realizing the totality of ourselves, unleashing greater courage, insight, creativity, and fearlessness as the power of our own spirit comes alive. So we're going to begin with a technique called Agni Bhavana breath. As you breathe in, chest expanding, feel and direct the inhale, the energy behind inhale, down towards the belly. And as you exhale, notice that corresponding lift of the pelvic floor, directing and moving energy up into the navel. So we're working with two vayus here. As you inhale, feeling that internalizing quality of pran, and then directing pran down towards the belly. And as you exhale, gathering and directing apana upward towards the solar plexus. Just do this in a relaxed way for a few more cycles. I ask you to not over-try in this practice. Just have the intention to direct these two pranic forces to come together in the navel. Activating the subtle force of Buddha Agni. I'm going to have you bring the legs together, directing the balls of the feet up to the ceiling. And inhale, raising the arms to come to the floor above the crown of the head. And as you exhale, lowering the arms as you follow the navel and pelvic floor slightly up. So continue with the Agni Bhavana breath as you move. Directing energy of inhale down towards the belly on the inhale. And as you exhale, gathering, collecting, and moving apana, energy behind the exhale, up towards the solar plexus. You can certainly utilize root lock on your exhale to emphasize this upliftment and movement of apana up. Bending the knees and bringing the feet underneath. Let's work with bridge. You're going to inhale, raising the arms and lifting the hips. And then as you exhale, lowering the arms, lowering the hips to the floor. So as we do this, let's also work with mantra here. On your exhales, audibly chant or mentally repeat Om. There's more of an advantage if you can audibly Om. So you can feel energy moving up in the spine, which enhances that upward motion that we're looking for behind the exhale. We're just going to continue to work with this in a different position. Come around to tabletop. Inhaling as you expand the chest. And exhale, seat to the heels, chest to the thighs. So same actions here. Continuing with Agni Bhavana breath. As you exhale, mentally or audibly chanting Om and engaging a root lock. And just feel and inviting through intention that the convergence of these two forces in the navel is lighting this psychic fire. Rest there with that intention for a moment in child's pose. Letting go of the audible chanting. And lift up, curl your toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. You're going to step that right foot forward in between the hands, spin the back heel down. You can utilize a block behind the right foot as we prepare for side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Open the arms, directing the right foot 90 degrees from the left. You're going to exhale, bend that right knee, sweep the left arm up and over. Inhale, straighten the right leg, come up. Exhale, coming into the pose, elongating left side of the body. And continuing. You can choose to lower the arm down to the block or to the floor if you want to create more physical challenge in the pose. And then choosing as we come to hold, whether you'll keep the the elbow at the knee or the hand down lower. Good. Now as you come to Parsvakonasana, make sure you've got the shoulder blades secure on the back of the left side. And staying with that intention of building that Bhuta Agni, that subtle psychic fire in the abdomen. Some of you may feel a sense of light and strength starting to come forward there in the navel. Please inhale and come up. And we'll prepare for the same sequence on the other side. You can choose to bring the block behind the left foot as you turn the foot 90 degrees from the right. Go ahead and elevate the arms. With your next exhale, lower the left elbow down to the knee, right arm overhead. I'm going to do this 3 more times. You can choose to go lower, seeing how that feels today. You want to be opening the knee towards the little toe side of the foot, right thigh very strong. And then on the next exhale, coming down to hold the pose. Engaging that right shoulder blade down the back, spinning the navel and the chest up towards the ceiling. And stay with that focus of life force converging in the abdomen as the alchemy of Pran and Apan ignite and awaken that subtle force of Agni. Press through the feet, come up to standing. You can lower the block down. And then moving into wide-legged forward fold, we'll start to prepare to work with now navel lock to further stoke this fire. You're going to take the hands down and inhale, straighten the arms, lift the heart, extend the spine. Exhale, bend the elbows. Just do this again as you're pressing evenly through the feet. Elevate and lift the heart as you extend the arms. And exhale down. Good. Now to prepare for the Bandha, the next time that you exhale and bend your elbows, you're going to hold the breath out. And then as you come up with the arms extended, you can either just hold the breath out or create navel lock. Then inhaling at your highest point, you'll repeat this. So as we exhale and bend the elbows, we also pause the breath. And then as we lift, either just with pause after exhale or engaging Uddiyana Bandha, release there in the extension and exhale, forward fold. I'm going to do this one more time. Lowering down. Stay low for about a breath or two and adjust. And then we're going to place that right hand underneath the breastbone, working with a twist here, but we're just going to keep the hand in the center. I'm sorry, left hand down, elevate the right arm. We're going to work with a different mantra here. Stretch the right arm overhead and exhale, spin the navel up. Now on this next one, inhale and reach forward. And then exhale, repeating Ram Agnaye Namaha. Now you can do this mentally or audibly. Exhale, Ram Agnaye Namaha. Ram is the Bija mantra for fire. Agniye, this sacred fire related to transformation and awakening. And Namaha, I honor. And then please stay here in the twist for a breath. Still audibly or mentally repeating the chant. We're going to come down and release for a moment before switching sides. So now the right hand comes down to the block. Stretch that left arm up. Now reach that left arm up and over and exhale. Audibly and or mentally doing Ram Agniye Namaha. The audible chanting will be more rich. You're going to really utilize and help support that upward movement of prana into the navel. And the mantra itself being the vibrational form of this fire, this Agni. So stay there, contemplating. We're going to release, come up, and please step to the front of the mat. Just pause and feel. Noticing if you feel a greater sense of strength and even light at the belly. Preparing for Parshvakonasana, step the left leg back 3.5 feet. Go ahead and elevate the left arm right back of the hand to the sacrum. Exhale, fold forward out over the right leg. And inhale to rise up. As you exhale, reaching long out of the left waist, returning to the Agni Bhavana breath. And then these next 2 times, continuing with the chant Ram Agniye Namaha, audibly or mentally. Now you're going to come up halfway and you're going to chant mentally, staying for 5 breaths. If it's too strong for the back to keep the arm extended, you can take that left arm to the back. If you want more challenge, you can bring the right arm forward. Stay present, stay focused. After that 5th breath, rising up, lower the left arm and step back to the front. Potentially feeling brighter, feeling more of that awakening of the Bhuta Agni internally. We're going to step the right foot back now, 45 degrees. Left hand to the sacrum, elevate the right arm. Exhale, fold out over the left leg, back of the neck long, and inhale to rise. Continuing with the chant, Ram Agniye Namaha, mentally or audibly. 2 more times, please. On the inhales, directing inhale down, force of prana into the belly. Continuing to see upon rise on your exhale towards the solar plexus. Now, as you descend with this next round, you're just going to come up halfway, staying for 5 breaths, choosing the appropriate arm position for your back, but continue to chant audibly. Rising up, you'll step back to the front and again pause and feel, just noticing what's happening. In this next cycle, we're going to be working with some Uddiyana Bandha again. You can always just do this mentally if Uddiyana Bandha is not appropriate for you today. So slide the hands down the backs of the legs, coming into a forward fold. Just inhale, lift the heart and extend out of the waist. And exhale, fold. Just do that one more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to fold. Now how we do it in this variation is you're going to inhale, lift the heart. And you're going to exhale here as well, starting to create root lock. Now pausing the breath out, potentially with Uddiyana Bandha, fold deeper in towards the thighs as you hollow out the belly. Or again, this can just be mental with pause after exhale. When you're ready to release, you're going to inhale and come back to the extended position, arms long, heart lifted. Exhale there again. Beginning with root lock, we'll continue to hollow out the navel as you fold deeper in towards the thighs. And remember, neck long, chin in. So you're ready to release, lifting back up, fingers still secure at the toes or on a block. Please continue. Finishing up one more round. I'm going to rise up now, back to standing. Please do one Agni Bhavana breath. Folding back forward and down, press the hands to the floor and move to downward facing dog. Now keeping all of that, the mental attention into the bandhas, we're going to continue to do this bhavana work here. As you inhale, see, feel, and direct that energy of the inhale down into the belly. And as you exhale, utilizing root lock here, direct force of exhale up in towards the solar plexus. See the abdomen light up with this unique energy that helps us digest our darkness. The darkness not being negative, but just parts that we're not seeing about ourselves. Are holding us back, holding us in pattern thinking and behavior that doesn't serve our complete flowering, blooming, best self. You'll lower the knees down now, please. Elevate the arms. And exhale, lower the hips to the heels, chest to the thighs, sweeping the arms to the sacrum. And inhale to rise up. Exhale, coming back into that work with the mantra. Ram Agniye Namaha, mentally or audibly. meaning I honor that force of the sacred fire within me. Please stay down into the child's pose, feeling that presence in the abdomen. With relationship to also awakening that higher aspect of mind, starting to perceive into the subtle, into that awakening of the sacred within us. So we're going to prepare to do an inversion, Viparita Karani, the half shoulder stand, or a variation of it. So I'm just going to briefly demonstrate your options here. First, the modification, in case coming up into the full posture isn't appropriate for you today. You're going to take the block underneath the triangular plate of the sacrum, and I'm just sitting up here so I can show you this. Finding that sweet spot is really key. It's sort of right there at the base of the low back. Straddling the area of the pelvis. And then you take the legs straight overhead, not angling them forward. If you've got yourself lined up right, it's pretty comfortable. Otherwise, you're going to take the arms alongside the body, draw the knees into the chest, and utilizing your core strength, roll the pelvis up, bend the elbows to grab hold of the low back. Now you can, with the knees still bent, tucking the shoulders under and the upper arms in towards one another, and then go ahead and extend and elevate the legs. Big toes hovering just above the forehead as we angle the legs forward slightly. Remember, we don't want to go too low. That can elevate blood pressure, which we definitely are not looking for here. Now, while you're in the posture, whichever one you're choosing, you're going to continue the work with this Agni breath, Agni Bhavana breath. The yoga tradition really esteems this posture as working on dissolving those blocks that keep us from our fullest potential. So sense that there's a flame in your navel pointing upward, this transformational essence of the flame rising to the base, where much of this accumulated darkness or ignorance resides, the accumulation of our fears and patterned behaviors and thinking. And just mentally chant Ram. Ram, 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 the Bija mantra related to fire. The Bija mantra also of the navel chakra. If you need to come down before the cue, please do so, but we'll stay here just a little longer. We're going to lower the knees down to the forehead, release the hands from the back, and slowly roll out of the posture. Just take the legs long, rest on the back for a moment, and feel. And so now, preparing to do some abdominal work here to really activate the fire in the navel. You're going to elevate the legs up towards the ceiling, arms close into the body, even tucking insides the wrists, forearms underneath the pelvis. Please lower the left leg down about 4 inches off of the floor as you keep the right leg elevated. If you need to modify, you can bend that right knee. Otherwise, just breathing. You're going to elevate the left leg now and lower the right leg to hover about 4 to 6 inches off of the floor. As best you can, even staying with the Agni breath here. Also utilizing the physical challenge in the pose to really ignite that flame in the navel. Now bringing the leg up, we're going to cross the right thigh over the left thigh. And then you're going to lower the legs 1/3 of the way, 60 degrees. If you need to bend the knees, you can, okay, to modify, but what we're looking for is that as we're squeezing the thighs in towards one another, you're separating the feet as far as they'll go. Continue to breathe. You're going to release, bring the knees into the chest, and then please switch sides. Cross the left thigh over the right, working the thighs in towards one another, separate the heels. Again, we're lowering the legs about 1/3 of the way towards the floor. Keep working the heels. Good. Bending the knees into the chest, brief release. We're going to do it again. Right thigh over the left, and now we're going to lower 2/3 of the way towards the floor, towards 30 degrees. Things get really alive here. Again, you can modify by bending the knees if you need to. Bend the knees into the chest, release, and then please cross the left thigh over the right, lowering it 1/3, just 2/3 of the way down towards 30 degrees. Keep working those heels away from one another. Keep squeezing the thighs. Quivering with delight. So we're doing all this wonderful work of the fire. Good. Bend the knees into the chest. Last one, you're going to keep the legs together, but now you're going to hover both of them 4 to 6 inches from the floor. And this is where it gets really juicy and bright and strong. Nice. And then we're going to release towards the floor. Go ahead and separate the feet a little bit. And as you close your eyes, you can really feel even a combustion now in the navel. So we feel that physical core, that physical vibrance, but this also feeds all of the subtle and that psychic energy we've been putting here at the navel. Please bend the knees, roll over. So you're going to come to plank position. There's 2 options. You can do conventional with the balls of the feet to the floor, or you can try a variation here with the taking the tops of the feet down. Now you really want to squeeze the legs in, whichever variation you're doing. And with the chant, audibly preferably, or just mentally, chant 3 times on the exhale, Ram Agniye Namaha. It's strong, it's beautiful, embrace it. Nice. Bring the knees down, seat to the heels. Yes. You're going to create fists. Bring the thumbs in and close the fingers around the thumbs. And you're going to put those fists into the navel. Fold forward towards child pose. So take a moment and just move those fists around. So as you're sort of searching and applying more pressure here at the navel and in the abdomen, you're looking for actually where there is a sense of dullness and discomfort. And see if you can stay in a place now. You feel some of that stagnancy and dullness, and just apply that pressure as you stay with the Agni Bhavana breath. Really brightening this whole area of the navel. Moving the blocks. Paving way for the fire to be bright. Now releasing, I'm going to have you come up. Take your seat down, legs forward. We're going to prepare for Tadagi Mudra. So in this, we're going to have the legs long. So if you need to elevate your hips on a blanket, you can do so. You also may want to utilize a strap, because the idea here, well, first, I'm just going to have you prep with some Paschimottanasana, grabbing hold of the feet or strap around the balls of the feet, fold over the legs. And as you inhale, lengthening out of the waist, lifting the heart. Just do that again, folding. And then lifting. And now the idea with Tadagi Mudra, and I'm going to show here some options, that we're keeping the spine very tall. So I'm showing with the strap, legs straight, or you could choose to keep the knees bent and holding on to the legs, or with the legs straight, but the idea is we're pulling up and away from the legs and the feet, creating that resistance and that extension in the spine. So now as you take hold into the posture, the mudra here. Inhale, creating that Jalandhara Bandha. Lean back, chin forward, base of the skull long. As you exhale, holding, pausing the breath after exhale, and chant the mantra mentally one time. And that pause after your exhale, you're chanting the mantra, in your own way, create this devotional awareness towards the mantra, understanding that fire is the source of life, source of spirit, and fire is also the means to cross that ocean of ignorance and misapprehension, you know, that Patanjali quoted as the kleshas, to see the source of life and to experience it. So with that pause, we can all be doing some Mula Bandha, and if you're comfortable and adept, you can create some Uddiyana Bandha as well in that pause, chanting 1 or 2 times. Please continue to extend the spine as long as possible, particularly that place between the navel and the tailbone, the hardest point to extend. And any movement there is very incremental, but it's key to waking up that stagnant tamasic energy, that energy that really holds those patterns of darkness out of our own awareness. Okay. Please release, fold forward, Paschimottanasana. You're going to lift up. And removing the blanket to the side, if you were using it, please come down to lie on your back. We're going to take Supta Baddha Konasana, first just knees into the chest. And then you're going to take the soles of the feet, arms in between the knees as you widen the knees, and interlace the fingers around the outsides of the feet. So the idea here is that you're directing the knees down, and the heels directing them above the navel, guide those down as well with the pressure of the arms as the back of the head and the shoulders stay to the floor. Just allow the pelvic floor to soften. Back to release. And now please bring the knees into the chest. Softly rocking from side to side. You can even cross the wrists, grabbing hold of the opposite soles of the feet and really lift up, tucking yourself in. And then release the neck and the head down to the floor. Good, let go, lengthen the legs. And we're going to come into Shavasana. Getting comfortable. Just settle in. Well, that's a very deliberate practice that we just did. There's awareness and intention with every breath that's taken. And so we're just going to be simple here in our Shavasana. Each time that you exhale, just allow the contents of the mind to be emptied. But every time you breathe out, mind becomes more empty. As you put your mind in the exhale, feel and direct thoughts out, like they're being dispersed out of you. Continue to feel with each exhale you lighten the load of your mind. As you become more empty, more effortless, just dissolve into that space. to come back, taking some deep breaths, moving the body if you'd like. Please bend the knees and roll over to your side, pausing there for a few cycles. Coming up and preparing for pranayama and meditation. Potentially elevating your hips. Get comfortable. And we're going to be working with Bhramari breath, bee breath. So I just want to show you, there's a particular hand mudra that we do on the face. So with the fingertips, you're going to take your thumbs to the ear flaps. You won't close them just yet, otherwise you won't hear me. The index fingers go to the inside the corner of the eyes. Middle fingers along the bony bridge of the nose. Ring finger above the lip and little finger below the lip. Okay? So you're going to create that mudra, and then you're going to basically make an om sound with your mouth closed and 9 times on your own. Okay? And you're listening for the sound, and you're also listening for these subtle overtone sounds within. And so go ahead and do it now. You won't hear me anymore. And do it 9 times. After you've completed, you'll lower your hands down. I'll wait here for a moment in case you're not complete. So now rest. And continue to feel sound echo in the silence. As you're resting, feeling sound echo in silence, feel that sound rising out of your still heart. Your heart center. Feel sound coming from the heart, and that you are listening in the heart. Yogis referred to this phenomenon as nada, the unstruck sound in the heart. Where after this very focused work we've done to ignite that sacred fire in the belly, to dissolve those blocks from perceiving our own totality, now in the heart we're able to rest in this vibration of existence. From the silence, allow yourself to melt into that feeling, that vibration. Vibration of existence and the light of the soul. Just feel yourself become absorbed in sound as vibration and light. Go ahead and release the practice. Taking the hands in front of the heart. Just lower the chin down. Bowing into yourself in gratitude and for the practice itself. Rub the palms. Cupping the palms over the eyes. Go ahead and open the eyes in this space. And as you're ready, lower the palms down. Thank you so much. Namaste.